Welcome to Bus Driver Life. My name is Kiwan. I am a bus driver. I have driven school buses and I currently drive transit buses in the Sacramento, California area. And in this video, we're going to react to some school bus driver TikTok videos. I used to be a school bus driver. I drove school buses for a very long time before driving transit buses. The first bus I ever drove was a school bus. That's where I learned how to drive buses. So when I see content that school bus drivers put out, I can definitely still relate. And some of it is still very much relevant to what I do as a transit bus driver.
Here told me to shut up, and then they're hollering because I say God damn it and stuff, and I slam the brakes on backed up here. I don't put up with
He
this.
slammed on the brakes all over our neck's crack, and she has a bloody nose. That's
And
how
he's
hard
big
it is.
deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so the student said when the driver slammed on the brakes, somebody hurt their necks, I think he said, and somebody has a bloody nose, and the bus driver said, big deal. Okay, it can be a big deal, actually.
You ain't lying.
Yeah, a lot of bus drivers are tempted to do the brake check method when people are giving them problems on the bus, but you probably should not do that because people can be injured. A lot of buses now have cameras on the interior as well as the exterior. So if someone reports an injury due to the brake check that you did and they review the camera footage and they see that there was nothing in front of you that would cause you to need to hit the brakes really hard at that moment that the person is claiming injury, then that could be used against the bus driver. But please understand, I have no doubt in my mind that these kids were acting bad. I'm pretty sure they were acting a fool. I drove school buses and some kids were really good. Some were just awful. They were bad for no reason. It's like they were paid to be bad. They were on salary for being bad. It's like some of these kids were sent directly from Hades. Was that mean?
Yes.
Woo! It's colder than a ball.
Warming up the buses during the winter be like. Yeah. Sound like church. Yeah, when it's really cold outside, sometimes those buses just will not turn over. I drove school buses in Wisconsin, so we would get below zero weather all the time. And there's one bus company that I worked for in Wisconsin, and we actually had to plug the buses up when it was really cool. I'm not 100% sure what that did, but it was necessary when the weather was extremely cold. I guess it kept the engines warm or something, I don't know. Somebody tell me in the comments, somebody probably knows. It's been so long.
Here's a feature you might not know about on a school bus.
I know about it.
After initiating our reds, as soon as I turn off the bus, we actually have something called a child check, and you're gonna hear beeping in the background. So what a child check does is it forces me to go all the way to the back of the bus. You can still hear it beeping, and depending on the bus, depends on what your child check looks like. Mine is just, I literally have to pull up on my emergency handle, and then the beeping at the front starts. Other people have buttons, or I think that's it. There could be a button that you have to press. But the idea of a child check is it forces me to get up and check the entire bus and make sure that I haven't forgotten a child on there. And the last fun point about the child check is if you don't do it, your horns start going off. So you remember to do it.
Yes, I remember doing the child check back in the school bus driver days, but it's really important though, because sometimes, especially on those cold winter mornings and you have the heat turned all the way up, those kids will be knocked out sleeping. You cannot see them by looking in your mirror, especially with the seats being so tall, so you would literally and physically have to get up and walk and check each and every seat to make sure you don't have any sleepers. And some kids will fall on the floor, fall on the floor. They're knocked out. Scarf, coat, backpack with books spilled everywhere on the floor, but you can't see it when you look up in the mirror. You have to walk back there and check. And there have been cases where bus drivers have not checked their bus and they drive all the way back to the garage or the yard, park their bus and go home, and there's a child on the bus. This is blocking the
So I
whole
was reading
street.
the comments on this video, and everybody was commenting that school buses aren't supposed to block both lanes like that. While that is true, most of the time, I don't know if it varies state by state, but I know New Jersey, you're not supposed to do that. But this bus was clearly in New York City, And what do they have in New York City that most of the country doesn't have? New York City has school buses with doors on the left and right side, so that kids can easily cross the street whether they live on the left side of the bus or the right side of the bus. They don't have to cross in front of the bus. As you can see right here, this is a door on the driver's side. You're seeing that correctly. This is not a reversed image. If you've never seen this before, well, there you go. So what that bus driver was doing was it was straddling both lanes because kids get off the bus on the left and the right. It's extremely dangerous for a kid to run out of the left side of the door and not have traffic totally blocked. I don't know. I don't really like buses like this. I think it's dangerous. I think the kids should always cross in front of the bus. But what do you guys think? Let me know below. Thanks for watching.
And see, I definitely learned something new with that video because I was not aware that New York did that. I didn't know they had doors on both sides. It makes sense for the driver in that case to block the entire street because people already run the stop sign, the stop arm when it's out and the red lights are flashing on school buses. People are notorious for running those lights. They do not care. They're trying to get to work. They're not paying attention. They're drinking their coffee. They're doing their makeup and they're just like red flashing lights. I'm going to keep going if they are paying attention. Whoa. Oh my goodness.
Get off the bus, yo! Get off the bus!
Is he throwing this kid off the bus? Oh my goodness, she's attacking the driver. How that lady's looking.
You okay?
That's not a kid.
Not a kid.
That's not a kid.
Now go apologize. That lady needs to go apologize to that driver that she just beat up. She was super comfortable running up to him and like pushing and shoving him and slapping him and stuff. Now, if he would have defended himself and did something back, then it would have been a problem.
You ain't lying.
But I understand her heart was in the right place and mommy mode kicked in and she thought that this bus driver was kicking a child off the bus and throwing a child off the bus, but turns out that's an adult. And the driver was probably just protecting the children on the bus from this adult that was posing as a child. Even though I'm pretty sure this was a prank, but all the people standing around didn't know what was going on. But I think a good lesson to be learned from this video is sometimes you may not understand what the bus driver is doing. So just mind your business, okay? Until you see the big picture. And the big picture here, if this was a real situation and not a prank or a skit, is that the driver was trying to protect the people on the bus. But anyway, let me know what you all thought about that. Shout out to all my school bus drivers out there. We're all in this together. Transit bus drivers, school bus drivers, we're all in the same family. Motor coach drivers, like, you know, we keep the world moving. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Also, check out the channel memberships for extra bonus feature. And it's an opportunity to support the channel. And check out the Teespring link in the description so you can look at some of the Bus Driver Life merch. And thank you for watching Bus Driver Life.